With that, we have our committee department reports. The Executive Director of the Evermore CID, Mr. Jim Brooks. We also have, are you going to introduce your board? Okay.
On behalf of the board of the Evermore CID and about 508 property owners, we appreciate the opportunity to come before Mayor and Council to talk a little bit about what's going on. Thank you all for giving us an opportunity earlier in the work session to talk about opportunity zones. We find ourselves in that very unique situation where we have to take advantage to see economic development take place, and we have to incentivize it as much as we can, and this is one of those tools that we believe will do that. Recently we had an opportunity to see the new Gwinnett Dodge open. We've also seen the new Toyota store move from Stone Mountain Toyota there just prior to Davis Drive, and it has moved into the Chevrolet dealership. You know, we say those things very casually, but when you stop and think about that, building's worth $6.8 million, and the new company put $2.8 in renovations. I'd encourage everybody to get by there and see what a real job they've done. It's a great looking facility. I want to speak just a minute to more or less get opportunity zones where we can talk about those in public, so to speak. This program gives a $3,500 per job in retail, industrial, manufacturing, whatever it is. If 2 new jobs that exceed a particular limit are developed even on existing businesses, and they offer, don't pay for, but offer health care, then that is a $3,500 tax incentive for each employee for that business. That's where the real incentive comes from. The city has before it to consider whether or not to join with Evermore CID in developing a plan and applications, and I did not say this earlier. It may be necessary for Snellville to have an application that's separate from Evermore CIDs. We're yet to determine that, but it will be determined in the study that we have that will take place. CID also, you all know that for some time there's been a plan to align old US 78, very similar to what happened at McGee Cambridge, with the Walton Court realignment. CID received notice that the state had approved right-of-way acquisition, and you all know that's a huge step in the right direction. And that's enabled us to take advantage of a $200,000 grant that the CID received from CERTA, State Road Toll Authority, earlier that the governor announced in May, in June. Those are the types of things that really can be the catalyst for change within a community. And as you look back at the road realignment at Cambridge McGee, while we don't know if Walmart would have chosen that place, you can certainly not dispute that it did not hurt the effort. Those are the types of things that we believe that we as a community will grow stronger. Hewitt to Britt continues on, and our FODSI should be approved by the end of this month. And that's where all comments have been made on that 1.5 mile corridor. We're also looking at a road that goes from Britt across High Point to connect to the Walton Court realignment. That's about a $1.18 million project as well. Once that is completed, there'll be about 3 miles of alternate routes that'll be created with this parallel road system. If we're able to move the next project in the future forward to go to McDaniel Bridge and across a power line to get to, meaning underneath the power line, not across the power line, to go underneath a high tension line there to get over to Killian Hill, that will create an alternate route that would go from the Walton Court realignment across Killian Hill onto Paxson Lane, all the way to Yellow River. So when we have these accidents that tie up intersections along Highway 78, this is going to be a great alternative route that should help, particularly when we find out that the state has designated the corridor along US 78 as the corridor that's called Atlanta-Athens corridor. So there are a number of those, and that'll be some special funding that most likely will help us in some of the improvements, such as deceleration lanes, acceleration lanes, regardless of how much that right-of-way costs. That's one of the major issues that we're having now is rear-end collisions where people are trying to slow down to get into a location or come back out onto the roadway. We've talked about TADs, and I know that you all have spoken of TADs too. The CID continues to look at them. We had an opportunity to meet with Brian Lackey and talk about the effects of TADs. And when you really understand what happens, even though you all do not have a TAD in place now, that may have been the very best thing that could have happened to the city. With the downturn where property is down 30 or 40% in some areas, just to get back to zero, you have to make that increment up before a TAD would be of some value. Particularly in Gwinnett County, they are looking at eliminating the existing TADs and reconstituting them on a more target-specific basis. You all, when you have those projects, certainly we stand ready to assist you in the development part of working through that process. We, at the CID, the board unanimously elected to leave their millage at 5 mills. It generates about $60,000 less in tax revenue, and the way we intend to make up that shortfall, according to our chairman, Chris Garner, is we're going to tighten our belts. We're not going to expend more money. We're going to do with less. In that regard, we certainly have a number of projects. One that would be of particular interest to the city of Snellville. We're currently looking at lighting the corridor. It's between $2.5 and $3.5 million project that we will be seeking federal aid with. With that, Madam Mayor, I conclude my report and stand ready to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Brooks. Any questions for Mr. Brooks?
I have a couple.
Yes.
You said the $3,500 tax credit is for 5 years. Did I understand that correctly earlier? Okay. And it's a lot better than 1 year.
Absolutely.
And on these roads that you're building, how many lanes wide are those that you're involved in?
They are 2-lane roads, and generally as we go into areas where we are going through buffers and so forth in neighborhoods and between businesses, the road beds themselves will be 22 feet wide, and the entire right-of-way is about 45, and it will, to the south side in all cases, have a pedestrian sidewalk with beauty strips.
Councilwoman Cross?
Mr. Brooks, the last item you mentioned was on lighting.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there a particular area, or did I just miss that in your
Well,
talk?
I hope I said on the entire corridor, and that would run from East Park Place through all 5 nodes that are already in place, and run that lighting into the city of Snellville within the CID.
Any additional questions? Thank you, Mr. Brooks.
Ma'am, thank you.
We now have